Hi there, I'm Vincent Boss and I provide dating and self-improvement advice. And in today's podcast, we're going to be discussing why no contact can't fail. I provide audio coaching for breakup recovery, trying to get an ex back, attracting someone new, and life coaching. Visit www.dateme.tips for more details. Please check your spam and junk folders if you are expecting an email from me. So now let's get back into today's podcast. And today we are discussing why no contact can't fail. So if you have been dumped and want to try to get your ex back, you have likely heard that you should implement the no contact rule. In today's podcast, I'll be discussing 3 reasons why the no contact rule can't fail. So let's get straight into this. And point number 1 is creating the possibility for them to miss you. So when we consider implementing the no contact rule, it matters which variety you decide to implement. There are many different versions of the no contact rule that you can find online, and I believe that my version will give you that best possible chance of success. So I suggest that you subscribe to my YouTube channel, ring the bell for notifications, and check out my playlist entitled The No Contact Rule. This will help you fully immerse yourself in my version of the rule and understand why I believe it will give you that best possible chance of success. So when we're considering today's podcast, points 1 to 3 about why I believe no contact can't fail, you have to realise I'm talking about my version of a rule. So if you're implementing somebody else's variety, I can't guarantee it's going to have the same connection and results to what I'm going to be speaking about right now. But considering you are implementing my version of a rule, point number 1 is creating a situation where your ex-dumper could miss you. And my version of a rule can't fail in this, because it creates the opportunity and the pathway for your ex to get to that stage of missing you. Now, nothing can be guaranteed in life. There is no 100% guaranteed way to get your ex back. Nothing works 100% of the time, and nothing fails 100% of the time. But what we need to be doing is increasing our chance of success. And if you want to try to get your ex back, they need to miss you. You certainly can't get them back if you don't. And when your breakup took place, your ex-dumper was not missing you. If anything, they wanted space. Potentially, they may have told you they wanted permanent space. Maybe they said to you, "We will never get back together." Now, please understand that we speak in the moment. So irrespective of what your ex-dumper actually said, we have to understand that right now, they're not wanting to be in a romantic relationship with you. It doesn't necessarily mean that you can't get back together. But certainly right now, this is not what they want. But we can look to the past as evidence as for why, potentially, you could get back together. Think back to the time, maybe it was just a few weeks ago, or maybe months or even years, where your ex-dumper told you that they loved you. Now that was them being authentic. In my opinion, they would have been telling the truth back then. But unfortunately, they're telling the truth now as well. Whatever they said to you at the time of a breakup, whether it was, "I don't want to ever see you again," whether it was, "I just want to be friends," whatever it may have been, this is likely to have been how they felt in that moment and therefore their truth. But as we can see, people's truths change. Maybe they told you they loved you only a few weeks ago, and now they're saying they don't want to see you again. This shows feelings, thoughts, and words evolve. So don't be frightened if you've been dumped. I can't guarantee you'll get your ex back, but what I can say is that your ex's feelings are likely to evolve once more. First they loved you, now they don't. What happens in the future, only time will tell. But it's certainly possible to get your ex back, providing that they miss you. And they can't miss you if you're always in their life. They can't miss you if they genuinely believe that after a few days, weeks, or maybe even months, you are going to reach out to them. If they believe that you're just round the corner, then they're not going to miss you. And that's why point number 1 is so important when I say no contact can't fail, and we're talking about my version of a no contact rule. I believe it can't fail because the elements I suggest within my version of the rule will present a pathway for your ex-dumper to begin to miss you. Can it be guaranteed? No. But the pathway is certainly there, and that's why point number 1 has to be true. It can't fail because the elements are there in place. If a space is created, your ex will have to think about you. That is guaranteed. If you're in a relationship with somebody and now it's ended and you move on your own journey, your ex-dumper is going to be thinking about you. That is guaranteed. If it gets to the stage where they start to wonder about you, then you're now moving within the realms of possibility of when they will actually start to miss you. And that is a key component of trying to get your ex back. This can only be delivered into your ex's mind if you behave in the appropriate way, which is why my version of a no contact rule can't fail in providing the pathway for your ex-dumper to miss you, because it is all laid out there. Will they get to that stage of reaching out to you? That can't be guaranteed, but certainly they'll be thinking about you. Certainly they could get to a stage of wondering, and if they do that, missing you is around that corner. Remember, space is vital. Implementing my version of a rule will present this situation for your ex to be guided down in their mindset to have this opportunity to miss you. They can't miss you unless that opportunity is there, and that's why I believe if you implement my version of a rule, you will give them that chance to miss you and therefore give you the chance to one day reconnect. So now let's get into point number 2 and the second point of today's podcast about why no contact can't fail. And point number 2 is space to grow. So creating space is not just about trying to get your ex to miss you, although that's huge, as we've just been speaking about. It also enables you to grow within that space. When you've been dumped, you have to understand that the version of you that were dumped is no longer a good fit for your ex moving forward into a relationship. You need to become a version 2.0 of yourself, becoming a better person today than you were yesterday, and a better person tomorrow than you are currently today. You can only do this if you have the space to grow. If you're busy 24/7, then you won't be able to improve. You won't be able to live your life in a way where you are improving day by day, because time is needed to make these changes. Now, the one opportunity that presents itself to you after being dumped is the opportunity to spend time doing different things, because you have a lot more time now. The time that you were with your ex, the time that you were communicating with your ex, that is now open. How are you going to use that time? Are you going to be using it thinking of your ex 24/7, sitting in your room alone, doing nothing practical? Or alternatively, are you going to live your life in a way where you become more intelligent through different educational routes, more skilled, more creative? What are you going to do with your time? Let me know in the YouTube comments what you think you could be doing during this extra time that you now have. Because you're no longer with your ex, but you need to fill that time with something. Sitting around doing nothing is not going to get them back. You need to become a version 2.0 of yourself. If you remain version 1, or goodness, if you actually regress to version 0.5, version 0.5, if you become that person, then your ex is never going to want to reconnect with you. You will only have a chance of getting your ex back if you grow. And my version of a no contact rule can't fail because it provides you with the space to grow. So point number 1 is about giving the opportunity for your ex to miss you. And now in point number 2, you have this opportunity to grow because that space has been created. Again, if you behave in a different way, if you follow other advice, if you do things in a different kind of concept to what I'm describing right now, I can't guarantee you will have that space to grow. But I can if you follow my version of a no contact rule. So this is why I can promise you that it can't fail, because it will give you that chance. Whether or not you take it, whether or not you decide to grow, that's up to you. I will try my best to motivate you. I'll try my best to support you through my podcasts and my audio coaching service. But ultimately, it's down to you. Now, if you believe that you need help, advice and support, maybe a motivational boost, maybe even an accountability partner, then you may want to consider my audio coaching service, where me and you can speak one-on-one about your unique specific situation. Go to my website www.dateme.tips for more information about how I can become your coach and your teammate via my audio coaching service. So now let's get into point number 3 and my final point of today's podcast about why no contact can't fail. And point number 3 is recover. So ultimately, when we're looking at why no contact can't fail, if you follow the advice that I give, I think point number 3 is probably the most crucial. And that is because you will recover. Now, whether or not you want to get your ex back, whether or not you can get your ex back, recovery is necessary. Getting your ex back can't be achieved without going through recovery. Finding somebody better than your ex as a new romantic partner isn't possible without recovery. You need to recover. And the only way to do this is to go through the difficult times slowly but surely, growing slowly but surely, realizing that you're becoming stronger, that you can see a light at the end of a tunnel. This is something which is not going to happen fast. Like I say, slowly but surely. It is a marathon, it's not a sprint. But my version of a no contact rule will allow you to do this with the respect and privacy of not promoting every single bad element to the world via social media, via knocking on your ex's door. You'll be doing this in your own space. Now, this doesn't mean you shouldn't be talking to people. You absolutely should be talking to people. Speak with your friends and family that you trust, will not be talking to your ex. Don't go on social media and talk about how upset you are. Instead, speak to your friends and family, a local doctor, myself, if you want to use my audio coaching service. What I'm trying to get across here is my version of a rule will allow you to recover in your own time, because this isn't a race. This isn't something where you set your watch to. You're experiencing feelings very similar to a combination of grief and drug withdrawal. It's incredibly challenging, but you will get through it. Yes, it's hard. Yes, you've got to go through those hard days, but you will see the light at the end of the tunnel. The only way to get through a dark, bleak tunnel is to keep moving forward. If you stand still, put your hands over your eyes, you're not going to get out the other side. My version of a no contact rule can't fail because it provides you with the opportunity, with the theory and the space to recover. Yes, it's going to increase the chance of your ex missing you. Yes, it's going to allow you to grow and become a version 2.0 if you find the motivation to do so. But most importantly, in my opinion, it's going to give you that chance to recover. For moments where you cry, for moments where you let out that emotion, for moments where you understand that it's not all your fault. In fact, probably most of it's not your fault. Stop blaming yourself. Yes, take accountability. Say sorry and apologize when necessary, but then draw a line in the sand and realize that right now, you're going to improve every day. You're going to become a better person every day. Recovery is not straightforward. It's not something which is just a linear line. There are ups and downs, there are bumps in the road, there are hard days, but you will get through them. But you can only get through them if you have a basis to move forward upon. You need the confines of a theory and a concept. That's why I believe my version of a no contact rule allows you that chance to recover. There's going to be none of these theories and elements where I'm saying, right, after X amount of days, do this, that, or the other. My version of a rule gives you the time to grow, gives you the time to recover, gives your ex the time to miss you, but without a time limit. Setting time limits is not going to be constructive. Now, maybe some of you have unique specific situations which can't be implemented through a generalized no contact. That's where my audio coaching could help you find if there are some intricacies or caveats that you need to be focusing on which are different to the generalized rule. But by and large, most of you will be fine to follow what you need to do and get to your promised land, which is recovery. It doesn't matter if you get your ex back. It doesn't matter if you find somebody even better, as long as you're happy. Happiness is the only thing which counts at the end of the day, and that can't be achieved without recovery. And that's why I believe that my version of a no contact rule can't fail. If you believe that this podcast has helped you, then please consider buying me a coffee. The link to do so is in the description.